Hi, I'm Dr. Doug Weiss, and I'm excited to talk about intimacy anorexia help in Australia. I am so excited that we have an expert today. I'm going to introduce you to her. She's amazing, intelligent. She's been trained in intimacy anorexia. She gets it. But if you don't know what intimacy anorexia is, it's the active withholding of spiritual, emotional, and sexual intimacy from your spouse. You're too busy for them. You blame them. You withhold love. You withhold praise. You might withhold sex. You don't talk about your feelings. You're critical. Use anger and silence as a way to control the other person. It is a real phenomena in Australia. It's huge. So many men and women feel married and alone. You feel like a roommate. Well, that doesn't have to stay that way. If your partner is willing to get help, I want to introduce you to someone in your country who can help you, Dr. Faye Sayed. So, Dr. Faye, it's so good to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
And I'm so glad that you decided to dedicate yourself to help men and women who deal with intimacy anorexia and their partners, okay? And what intrigued you to get into that field?
Treating the sex addiction, many people think that, you just concentrate on the sobriety, concentrating on the sex addiction. But what the missing part for me was these men would sober up in their sexuality. However, in their relationship, they would be still dysfunctional.
Absolutely.
Until I was trained by ASAT. And once again, the missing part, the big missing piece of this puzzle was the intimacy anorexia. And, once you unlock that, and as you have, put it in your books, over 33% of sex addicts do actually suffer from intimacy anorexia.
Absolutely.
And if the intimacy anorexia is not addressed, the relationship will suffer. So it's really, really important that and once again, that's something that I learned through ASAT training.
Sure.
And I have talked to many therapists who treat sex addiction, but they don't know anything about intimacy anorexia. And
right.
Unfortunately, they fail.
Yes, and because if the intimacy anorexia is not treated, if they have sex addiction, it can be why they relapse as well. I have a case like that this week in doing that. And so I'm excited that in Australia that they can call and they can be heard. And so if a man or woman is feeling married and alone, they're feeling disconnected, they're begging to be loved, or they got to be put in pain before their spouse shows up for them, and then they only show up for a week or two and then they disappear again, that there's actually someone in your country who can help them to identify that it's a problem, and that there's actually a plan, and that they can do this with you. They can do this on the phone, right?
Yes.
They can do it on Zoom.
Absolutely.
And they can also come for 2, 3, or 5 day intensive in your office. In where exactly? And tell us a little bit about what intensive would be.
Yes, so our intensives are 2 days, 3 days, or 5 days, depending on what the individuals choose. And again, it could be they can attend individually or as a partner, as partners. And and we are located in Brisbane, Queensland. Once again, I must emphasize that many of the lovely, beautiful sex addicts, individuals, they don't know about the intimacy anorexia.
Right.
And once you bring it to the table and you tell them what it is, it's like, wow, now I get it. Now I get me.
Right.
And also for the partners to actually have a name for what they have not been able to verbalize.
Absolutely.
To have language for it. It's been so helpful. It's been absolutely helpful. So I'm very excited that I have been trained by ASAT, and I have been introduced to the intimacy anorexia. And also I've been given the structures and the tools that I can actually give to these individuals.
And I want to just highlight on that, because like if you're in Australia and you're married and alone and you're feeling a lot of pain, or you maybe the intimacy anorexic, and if you just go to a general counselor, they're not going to be really able to help you. They're really not. They don't have the language, they don't have the skills, they don't know what homework to give you, they don't know how to hold you accountable, they don't know the monster, okay? Dr. Faye Sayed does. She's been trained, she not only understands it, but she can help you walk out of it. And so that you can be happily ever after, if you choose to be, or you can choose that you're not going to be unloved the rest of your life and put up with the abuse that this neglect brings to your heart, your life, your sexuality, to have no romance, no sensuality, and to feel disconnected or alone in your relationship. That's not something you have to continue to suffer with. So I really want you to listen up as Dr. Faye Sayed gives you her website and track her down, find her, and get these resources. So if you would, look into the camera and just give them that information.
So our website is House of Hope Counselling and Psychotherapy Centre, and we are located in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia.
Well, please, if you're in Australia, check out Dr. Faye. She is wonderful with working with intimacy anorexia and the spouses, the married and alone of intimacy anorexics. Please do that and take your first steps in recovery.